The moment Anya Morozova stepped through the imposing double doors of Moscow High, the familiar symphony of whispers began. New kid, outsider, target. It was an old, tired song, the same one played at every school she'd attended. By now, Anya knew the choreography by heart. Keep your head down, blend into the background, speak only when absolutely necessary, and above all, under any circumstances, never reveal the true extent of what you were capable of, not unless backed into a corner, with absolutely no other choice remaining. If only the clique of seniors lounging against the radiators, their eyes tracking her every move from across the hall, had any inkling of what those choices had cost her at the last school, perhaps they'd find another target for their casual cruelty. The weight of their stares felt like a physical pressure against the back of her neck, a heavy cloak of unwelcome attention. Anya adjusted the worn strap of her backpack, the leather digging uncomfortably into her shoulder. 3 schools. In just 2 years. Her dad, Mikhail, had promised, with that weary hopefulness she knew too well, that this move, this town, would finally be the last one. Anya wasn't holding her breath. Stability felt like a foreign concept, a luxury reserved for other families. She navigated the bustling corridor towards the administration office, the noise and motion a stark contrast to the tense silence she carried within. "You must be Anya Morozova," the school secretary chirped, peering over the top of cat-eye glasses. That seemed slightly at odds with the drab office environment. Her voice was overly bright, a practiced professional pleasantness. "Anya, yes, just Anya," came the automatic correction, a reflex honed over years of introductions. The secretary's lips pursed almost imperceptibly, a fleeting moo of disapproval at the correction, before her smile snapped back into place. "Well, just Anya," she emphasized the name slightly. "Here is your class schedule and a map of the campus. First period begins in 15 minutes. Plenty of time to get settled. I've assigned Svetlana Orlova to show you around today. She's one of our student volunteers." The secretary gestured towards the doorway, where a girl with a genuinely bright smile and a cascade of vibrant blonde hair had materialized as if on cue. "Welcome to Moscow High," Svetlana said, her enthusiasm a refreshing change from the secretary's forced cheerfulness. "Let me see your schedule." She took the paper Anya offered, her eyes scanning the classes. "Oh, cool. We have 3 classes together, Russian literature, history, and PE. This'll be fun." Svetlana's energy was infectious, but Anya maintained her usual reserve, a lifetime of caution acting as a shield. As Svetlana led the way through the increasingly crowded hallways, pointing out the library, the cafeteria, or stolovaya, and the main gym, Anya's mind was already working, automatically taking mental notes. Exit points, open spaces, potential bottlenecks, the flow of student traffic. Old habits ingrained for survival died hard. The tour concluded at Anya's assigned locker, number 112, situated in a busy main corridor. Svetlana glanced at her phone, her bright expression clouding over with a slight frown. "Shoot, I completely forgot I need to run to the library to return. These books before first period? Will you be okay finding room 305 on your own? It's just down this hall and to the left." Anya simply nodded, appreciating the brief moment of solitude Svetlana's departure would afford her. Svetlana flashed another quick smile and disappeared into the churning river of students heading towards their classes. The corridor was beginning to empty as the insistent ringing of the first warning bell echoed off the lockers. Anya spun the combination lock on locker 112, the tumblers clicking softly. She tested it twice, ensuring it opened smoothly before pulling the metal door open. Just as she reached inside for her history textbook, a large shadow fell across. "The locker's interior. That's not your locker," a deep, gravelly voice stated, dripping with arrogance. Anya turned slowly, schooling her features into neutrality. She found herself facing a boy built like a hockey player, flanked by 2 equally imposing friends who seemed to serve as his personal bodyguards. The leader, the one who had spoken, wore a faded blue and white Moscow high-track jacket with the name Dmitri. stitched proudly across the back in elaborate Cyrillic script. His dark hair was styled in an expensive, meticulously messy cut that suggested both inherited money and a deep-seated vanity. His eyes, cold and assessing, swept over Anya with disdain. "Number 112, Anya replied calmly, pointing to the small, scratched metal plate riveted onto the locker door. "Assigned by the administration office just this morning." Dimitri's eyes narrowed, his expression darkening. "That locker, that's been my extra. Locker, my personal storage since 9th grade. Administration must have screwed up royally." One of his friends, a lanky kid with a perpetual sneer, snickered audibly. "Yeah, Dimitri, looks like they made 2 mistakes today, giving this nobody your locker and letting her enroll here in the first place." The other friend, shorter but broader, just cracked his knuckles, a silent, menacing promise. Anya recognized the moment instantly for what it was. A test, a challenge, a blatant claiming of territory. It was depressingly predictable. Her father's words echoed in her memory, a constant mantra. "Choose your battles carefully, Anya. Most confrontations aren't worth the potential cost." Defiance now would only escalate things, draw unwanted attention. "Okay," Anya said, keeping her voice even, betraying none of the familiar tension coiling in her gut. "No problem. I'll go back to the office and request a different one." She closed the locker door gently and made to step away, hoping to de-escalate. But Dimitri wasn't finished. His hand shot out, shoving Anya hard against the cold metal lockers. The impact jarred her, stealing her breath for a second. "That's right, newbie," Dimitri sneered, leaning in close, his breath smelling faintly of cheap cigarettes. "And while you're at it, you better watch yourself in these halls. Accidents happen, especially to people who don't pay attention to who runs this place." A familiar, dangerous heat bloomed deep in Anya's chest, a simmering ember of controlled fury. But years of relentless training, of discipline hammered into her by her father, kicked in automatically. Breathe. Center yourself. Control it. This isn't the time. This isn't the place. "Got it," Anya replied, her voice deliberately steady, level, meeting his gaze without flinching but without challenge. Dimitri seemed almost disappointed by the lack of a more volatile reaction. He clearly thrived on fear and intimidation. With a final sneer, he deliberately knocked the books and schedule from Anya's hands, scattering them across the linoleum floor before sauntering away with his 2 shadows, their boisterous laughter echoing unnervingly down the now nearly empty corridor. Anya knelt, gathering her scattered papers and books, her jaw tight. Just another day, another school, another bully. As she reached for her history textbook, a pair of worn, slightly scuffed Adidas sneakers stopped beside her. A hand reached down to help. "Sorry about that," said a lanky boy with thick-rimmed glasses perched on his nose. He pushed them up nervously. Dmitry Volkov and his crew, they're complete cams, monumental ones actually. He offered a slightly awkward, friendly smile. "I'm Ilya, by the way. Ilya Sokolov. Anya Morozova," she replied, accepting the last of her papers from him. "Yeah, I heard we were getting a new student. Word travels ridiculously fast around here." Small-town telegraph. Ilya handed over the history book. "Dimitri's the captain of the hockey team. Big man on campus. Plus his dad's on the city council, practically owns the place, or at least thinks he does. Gives him a sense of entitlement the size of Siberia." "It's fine," Anya said, straightening up and tucking her books securely under her arm. "Not exactly my first charming welcome committee experience." Ilya raised a curious eyebrow. "You move around a lot, huh?" "You could say that," Anya replied. Evasively, the final strident bell rang, signaling the official start of classes. Both Anya and Ilya hurried off in the direction of their respective classrooms. Anya slipped into room 305, Russian literature, just as the teacher was closing the door behind the last student, earning her a mild frown. She instantly felt the weight of 27 pairs of curious eyes turning towards her. The sudden silence was palpable. "Ah, our new student," the teacher said. He was a man likely in his late 50s, with a neatly trimmed grey beard, intelligent eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses, and a tweed jacket that looked well-loved. "Welcome, I'm Mr. Petrov. Why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself to the class?" Anya stepped forward reluctantly, hating the spotlight. "I'm Anya Morozova," she said, keeping her voice low and even. "I just moved here from St. Petersburg. Not much else to tell, really." A smart aleck voice from the back of the classroom called out, "What, you running from the FSB or something?" Scattered, nervous laughter followed. Anya ignored it, scanning the room for an empty seat. There was only one, situated directly in front of Dmitry Volkov. Of course, she took the seat, bracing herself. Sure enough, before Mr. Petrov had even finished writing the day's agenda on the whiteboard, she felt the deliberate, rhythmic kicking against the back of her chair. It continued, an annoying, persistent rhythm throughout Mr. Petrov's entire opening lecture on Pushkin's Eugene Onegin. By lunchtime, Anya had mentally mapped the majority of Moscow High's sprawling campus and constructed a preliminary social hierarchy chart in her head. It was a familiar exercise, a survival mechanism. Dmitry Volkov and his coterie of jocks, mostly hockey and track types, held court at the cluster of central tables in the noisy, cavernous Stolovaya, their laughter loud and obnoxious. Svetlana Orlova, the friendly student volunteer, was seated with a group Anya pegged as the drama club kids, animatedly discussing what looked like scripts. Ilya Sokolov, the helpful boy with the glasses, was tucked away in a quieter corner with a small, intense group huddled over a game of mafia, judging by the cards spread out. Anya, seeking anonymity as always, chose an empty table near the side exit, strategically positioned for a quick escape if needed. She unwrapped the pirozhok she'd packed, potato and onion, a staple of her transient life, and tried to ignore the low hum of surrounding conversations. "Mind if I join you?" Ilya Sokolov appeared suddenly beside her table, balancing a tray laden with what the Stolovaya menu optimistically called meat surprise, a dubious-looking concoction of ground meat, potatoes, and some kind of gravy. Anya glanced up, surprised, then nodded towards the empty chair opposite her. "Be my guest," she mumbled around a bite of her pirozhok. Ilya slid into the chair, setting his tray down with a clatter. "So," he began, after scooping up a large forkful of the meat surprise, "what really brings you to our scenic, thrilling metropolis of Moscow? Population, perpetually stressed." He chewed thoughtfully. "Seriously, though, why here?" Anya poked suspiciously at the pickled cucumbers on her own tray. "Dad's job," she said, keeping it brief. "He's a security consultant. Specialized stuff. Goes where the contracts take him." "Ah, the mysterious traveling man," Ilya mused. "And your mom?" Anya's posture stiffened slightly. "Not in the picture," she replied, her tone flat, a clear signal that the topic was closed. Ilya, perceptive despite his slightly awkward demeanor, seemed to sense the invisible boundary immediately. "Right, gotcha," he said quickly, turning his attention back to his lunch. "Well, Moscow isn't so bad once you get the lay of the land and learn who to actively avoid, like Dmitry and his merry band of morons." He subtly nodded his head towards the center tables where Dmitry was holding court, flanked by the same two guys from the hallway incident. "Especially Sergei Karpov and Anton Smirnov." "Sergei's the one with the shaved head," Ilya elaborated, keeping his voice low. "His dad's the local Oblastnoy investigator. Explains a lot, right? Immunity, basically. Anton, the one who looks like he's permanently smelling something rotten, like a blocked sewer. He's just mean, pure bidlow, enjoys making people miserable for sport." Ilya shook his head. "The three of them have been terrorizing kids in this town since elementary school. A long and storied reign of terror." "Why doesn't anyone stop them?" Anya asked, genuinely curious. It seemed incredible that such blatant bullying could continue unchecked. Ilya let out a short, humorless laugh. "Are you kidding? Power, money, influence. Dmitry's dad, Mr. Volkov II, sits on the city council and donates generously. Think new hockey equipment, scoreboard upgrades, that kind of thing. buys a lot of goodwill and blind eyes. Sergei's dad, investigator Karpov, conveniently makes any official complaints about teenagers being teenagers disappear. And Anton? Well, Anton's just the muscle, the attack dog. Nobody wants to cross that unholy trinity. Teachers look the other way. Administration finds reasons to be busy. It's messed up. Anya absorbed this information silently. It painted a grim but sadly familiar picture. Power dynamics, corruption, apathy. The ingredients were the same everywhere, just the names and faces changed. Later that afternoon, as the final bell echoed, signaling the end of the school day, Anya headed back to locker 112, hoping the morning's unpleasantness had been a one-off. No such luck. Dmitri, Sergei, and Anton were lounging against the bank of lockers directly blocking hers, smirks firmly in place. A small knot of other students loitered nearby, clearly anticipating more drama. "Excuse me," Anya said quietly, stopping a few feet away. "I need to get into my locker." Dmitri pushed himself off the lockers slowly, deliberately. "Oh, look. Guys, it speaks," he announced to his friends, who chuckled appreciatively. "You know, Morozova, I was thinking about our little chat this morning, and I don't think I made myself clear enough." He took a step closer, invading her personal space. Sergei and Anton shifted slightly, flanking him, effectively boxing Anya in. "This isn't just about the locker, see? It's about respect, understanding the pecking order around here. You're new, you're nobody. You need to learn your place." "I'm not looking for trouble, Dmitri," Anya repeated, keeping her voice calm and low, trying not to attract more attention from the onlookers. Too late. Dmitri's smile was predatory, devoid of any warmth. It didn't reach his cold eyes. "See, word gets around fast in Moscow, and the word is, you got kicked out of your last school. St. Petersburg, wasn't it? That true?" Anya's body tensed involuntarily, a cold dread washing over her. How? How could they possibly know that? The records were supposed to be sealed, expunged. Her father had assured her. Dmitri saw the flicker of reaction in her eyes, the momentary lapse in her composure. I'll take that shocked silence as a yes," he continued, clearly enjoying her discomfort. "So, what was it, Morozova? Drugs? Assault? Maybe a bit of both. You look like the type." "I need to catch my marshrutka," Anya said, glancing towards the exit, trying to disengage. Anton moved smoothly to block her path. "Marshrutka can wait," he grunted, cracking his knuckles again. "We're having a conversation here. Show some respect." Anya's mind raced, automatically calculating odds, distances, potential witnesses. 20, maybe 25 students still lingering in the hall. A teacher visible in a classroom about 30 feet away, grading papers, oblivious. Too many eyes. Too public for the kind of physical confrontation Dmitri and his thugs clearly intended to provoke. Not here, not now. She needed to control the time and place. "Tomorrow," Anya said suddenly, her voice firm, surprising even herself. "After school. Can talk, then settle this." Dmitri seemed taken aback by the unexpected suggestion, a flicker of surprise crossing his face before the arrogant smirk returned. "Oh? You want to schedule your beatdown? Okay, newbie, sure," he chuckled. "Behind the gym, 4 o'clock sharp. We'll have a proper Moscow welcoming committee waiting just for you." He gestured grandly. Sergei and Anton snickered again. They parted slightly, allowing Anya to pass. Their mocking laughter followed her all the way down the corridor and out to the waiting marshrutka, grating on her nerves like sandpaper. That evening, in the small, sparsely furnished apartment above a pelmenaya that still smelled faintly of dill and unpacked cardboard boxes, Anya went through her familiar post-school ritual. She meticulously wrapped her hands with worn cotton wraps, the movements precise and automatic, before launching into a relentless attack on the heavy bag, hanging from a reinforced steel beam in the corner of the cramped living room. The rhythmic thud of her fists and feet against the dense canvas filled the small space. "Rough first day?" her father, Mikhail Morozov, asked quietly from the doorway. He stood there, still in his work clothes, a simple button-down shirt and slacks, typical for his security consultant cover, but with his tie loosened and his expression weary. Anya didn't pause her assault on the bag, unleashing a sharp three-punch combination, jab, cross, hook, that sent the heavy bag swinging violently on its chain. The usual, she grunted between impacts. Mikhail watched his daughter, his eyes, the same deep brown as hers, filled with a familiar mixture of pride and concern. At 45, he still moved with the quiet grace and coiled efficiency of the highly trained fighter he'd once been, before tragedy had struck, before he'd become a widower solely responsible for raising a daughter with unique challenges, before their lives had become a series of hasty relocations, always looking over their shoulders, before he'd traded the MMA cage for the shadows of corporate security and clandestine protection details. "Want to talk about it?" he asked, his voice gentle but firm. "Not really." Another combination, faster this time, ending with a powerful roundhouse kick that connected with a satisfying thwack. The bag groaned under the impact. "Anya," Mikhail's voice took on that tone, the one that meant he wasn't just asking as her dad, but as her instructor, her sensei, the man who had painstakingly taught her everything she knew about defending herself. She caught the swinging bag, stilling its momentum, her breathing slightly heavy, but controlled. "Some guys," she explained, finally turning to face him, wiping a bead of sweat from her temple with the back of her wrapped hand. "The usual alpha male types. Think they run the school. Typical power plays, locker incident, intimidation tactics." She shrugged. "I didn't engage, Dad. Like we practiced, de-escalated, avoided confrontation." "But," Mikhail prompted, sensing the unspoken part of the story. "But," Anya continued, her voice dropping slightly, "they've somehow heard about St. Petersburg, about what happened there." Mikhail's face tightened instantly, the easy weariness replaced by sharp tension. "That's impossible, Anya. Those records were sealed, expunged. I made sure of it myself." "Well, someone unsealed them or someone talked," Anya said, unwrapping her hands slowly, the damp cotton clinging to her skin. "They knew. They threw it in my face. They want to meet tomorrow, after school, behind the gym, and you'll walk away," Mikhail finished for her, his voice firm, stating a fact, not asking a question. "Like we agreed, no matter the provocation." He met her gaze, his own intense. 2 more months, Anya. Just 2 more months until graduation. Then university, a completely fresh start, a clean slate, no more looking back. "You said that about this place too, Dad," Anya reminded him gently, the weariness evident in her own voice now. Mikhail sighed, running a hand through his short, graying hair. I know I did. I'm trying, Anya. I really am trying to make this one stick." Anya offered a small, tired smile, the tension easing slightly. The shared burden, the constant running, it took its toll on both of them. "I know, Dad," she said softly. After a simple dinner of takeout pelmeni, eaten mostly in silence, Anya retreated to her small bedroom and booted up her battered laptop. Driven by a need for information, a tactical necessity, she began searching online for anything she could find about Dmitry Volkov, Sergei Karpov, and Anton Smirnov. The archives of the local newspaper, the Moskovsky Komsomolets, proved depressingly informative, revealing a clear and disturbing pattern of behavior stretching back years. Dmitry Volkov, star hockey player, 3-time regional championship contender, son of influential city council member Vladimir Volkov. Sergei Karpov, son of Oblastnoy. Investigator Nikolai Karpov, suspended twice from school for undisclosed infractions, charges mysteriously dropped on both occasions. Anton Smirnov, known troublemaker, a history of petty vandalism and assault, rumored juvenile record that had conveniently been expunged upon turning 18. And then, the most chilling discovery. Andrei Petrov, a former Moscow High student, hospitalized last year with multiple injuries, broken ribs, severe concussion, fractured arm, after what the official school report and a brief newspaper article vaguely described as an unfortunate incident near the hockey rink. Andrei Petrov and his family had moved out of Moscow shortly afterward, transferring him to a school in another region. Anya stared at the grainy photo accompanying the article, a picture of a smiling boy in a school uniform. An unfortunate incident. Right. Anya closed the laptop slowly, the cold certainty settling in her stomach. Her decision, already half-formed, solidified. Walking away wasn't always an option, not when others were clearly getting hurt. The next day passed in a haze of forced normalcy, a blur of tedious classes punctuated by sideways glances and hushed whispers. Word of the scheduled meeting behind the gym had spread through the student body like wildfire. By sixth period study hall, even the usually upbeat Svetlana Orlova had heard the rumors. She cornered Anya near the library bookshelves, her expression anxious. "Anya, you can't actually go meet them," she whispered urgently, casting nervous glances around the quiet room. "Seriously, last year they cornered that kid, Andrei Petrov, the one who had that incident near the rink. He ended up in the hospital for over a week. 3 broken ribs, a concussion. It was bad. Dmitri's dad smoothed it all over, of course." "Andrei Petrov," Anya said quietly, nodding. "Yeah, I read about him online last night." "Then you know what they're capable of," Svetlana insisted, her voice rising slightly in panic. "Just don't. Show up, call in sick, go home early, anything." "That won't solve anything, Svetlana," Anya replied calmly, though she appreciated the concern. "It'll just postpone it. They'll find another time, another place." "Neither will getting yourself beaten to a pulp," Svetlana hissed, drawing a sharp, silencing look from the supervising teacher at the front desk. Anya just shook her head slightly and turned back to her textbook. After the final bell rang, Ilya Sokolov intercepted Anya as she navigated the crowded hallway towards the gym exit. His face was pale, his glasses slightly askew. "Anya, wait up. Everyone's talking about it. Dmitri's got half the hockey team waiting back there. It's an podstava, not a talk. Just go home. Please, it's not worth getting hurt over a stupid locker or some macho pride thing." Anya paused, meeting Ilya's genuinely worried gaze. "I appreciate